Hi everyone, I'm Stacy Nagel. I'm the Vice President of Membership for the WRJ Pacific District, and this is What is an Individual Member? You will notice that there are no participants besides me here right now. That is because this is a re-recording. When I went to go do this presentation last night, my internet was unstable, and so I thought I would go ahead and re-record it and so we could share it and you can all get the information. My background: I am, as I said, the VP of Membership for the WRJ Pacific District. My term is from 2020 to 2023. I am also the treasurer for Miriam Circle Sisterhood, a sisterhood that is uniquely unaffiliated with the synagogue. And I also am a brand new member of Temple Sinai Sisterhood in Las Vegas. I come with a wealth of background in membership, from PTA membership drives to VP of membership for several sisterhoods. And I hope that you will find this information on being an individual member useful this evening. So first thing I want to do is talk about why I thought this topic was important to begin with. So there are three reasons why I think the topic of what is an individual member and do you want to be one is important. First, the Pacific District had an area event this past summer, and we had two amazing registrars, Karen Peterson and Sue Meyer. And the first question that they asked on the list of questions before do you belong to a sisterhood was, are you an individual member of WRJ? And there were about 10 to 15 women who chose that option, who turns out were not individual members of WRJ. So there was some confusion as to whether or not they were individual members, and there were phone calls and clarifications and emails that had to go on. So it was a little bit of extra work for our registrars to figure out, were these women actually individual members? And it turned out they weren't. And we'll talk about why they weren't in a few minutes here. There's just general confusion. There's confusion about the definition of being an individual member. There's confusion over how individual members are the program is implemented. Do individual members get to vote? Do individual members get an area director? Do individual members communicate with the district, and how? So there's just a lot of general confusion about the definition and implementation of being an individual member. And then the third reason why I think this topic is important is because we, as you all know, are in a rather wacky last couple of years where COVID-19 has really changed the face of our world. It's changed it on a global level. It's also changed it on a WRJ level and a sisterhood level. We have synagogues that have been closed and then they reopened and then they're closing again. We have some synagogues that did not reopen. We have some that have merged. And our sisterhoods are following suit. Some are folding, unfortunately, some are merging, some have not done activities in the last couple of years. Maybe their members are not as comfortable with the online options. So we have a lot of influx sisterhoods and synagogues right now. And so there are women out there who I think want to still be part of WRJ, but maybe there's no WRJ affiliated sisterhood nearby them. Maybe it's billions of miles away. That's an exaggeration, but maybe it's far away. Maybe it's that their sisterhood is changing and they're not sure they are ready to change with it. Maybe it's merging or changing the way it does business. Maybe there are some of you out there that are feeling like you're not sure yet if you want to join the sisterhood that's nearest to you, and even if it is WRJ affiliated. So being an individual member is a nice temporary, I think, alternative to being a part of a sisterhood. And we'll talk about next what the benefits and challenges of being an individual member are. But these are some of the reasons why I think this topic is really important. So first of all, we are all individuals. We're all uniquely ourselves. And if you pay dues to WRJ, you are a WRJ Women of Reform Judaism member. But that does not mean that you are an individual member of WRJ. And what the definition of being an individual member really comes down to is how you pay your dues. Let's talk about that. And I'm not talking about whether you pay Venmo or cash or PayPal. I'm talking about whether or not you pay your dues through your sisterhood or as an individual member. So if you are a member of a WRJ affiliated sisterhood, then it is your sisterhood that pays dues for you as an individual. It is your sisterhood president and/or treasurer that puts in the dues to WRJ National, which right now are $18 per member. They are the ones, the sisterhood president or treasurer, or if you have a financial secretary, perhaps, they are the folks that as a whole take the number of members you have in your sisterhood and multiply it by 18 and send those dues to WRJ National. Now we also have district dues, and the Pacific District is $2 per member for district dues. However, we received a really generous grant that was covered last year, this year, and next year. Somebody paid the dues for everybody for the district level. So sisterhoods are not currently having to pay the $2 district dues per member right now. Right now, this year, it's just $18 per member for national dues. And again, if you're part of a WRJ affiliated sisterhood, your dues are paid for you through your sisterhood. You're paying your sisterhood dues, and then they are in turn taking a portion of those dues, $18 per member, and paying WRJ National as a whole, as a sisterhood. So you do not have to pay WRJ as an individual if you're part of a WRJ affiliated sisterhood. They're taking care of it for you through your sisterhood dues. If you're not a part of a WRJ affiliated sisterhood, then you can pay as an individual member. So if you're still thinking about joining a sisterhood, like I said before, or there's no WRJ affiliated sisterhood in your area, you have this temporary alternative. You can still belong to WRJ and you can pay your dues directly to them and be an individual member. I also like to call them an IM. This is a way you get to be part of both the national and the district level and do all the activities, but it's only if you do not belong to a WRJ affiliated sisterhood. That's when we call you an official WRJ individual member. Okay, so what are some of the benefits? Why become an individual member if you're not a part of a WRJ affiliated sisterhood? First of all, as an individual member in WRJ, you get all the communications. Everything that a sisterhood gets, you also get. You have access to Yammer, which is an online membership group, basically. It's an online activity group where you can join all kinds of groups, and you can join ones about, if you're interested in gift shops, if you're interested in being treasury, if you're interested in leadership development, if you're interested in the Pacific District, we have our own group on Yammer. There's also on Yammer a group just for individual members. And so you could join the individual member group, and it's a great way to communicate with other individual members across the country. For the Pacific District, we also have our twice a month newsletter, the Tuesday Highline, where you get all the information on activities and events, social action and social justice speakers that are going on in the Pacific District. And we have a lot going on in the Pacific District. So as a Pacific District member, individual member, you also get access to that Tuesday Highline. So, and Yammer also, by the way, has Pacific District events under the Pacific District group, but also has all the national events and what's going on in other districts. So there's lots of activities that are, if you're interested. If you're interested in online programming and ideas, that's on there too. You also, at least I can speak for the Pacific District, do get an area director. And the area director for the Pacific District individual members is me, the VP of membership. So what we've been doing is about once a quarter, give or take, we've been meeting as a group of individual members so that we can all be together and talk about things that interest individual members. And you can ask me anything. You have access to my phone number, you have access to my email, and I am at your beck and call. I am the area director for you and can answer any and all of your questions. Like I mentioned before, you can attend all events and programs. Nothing is closed off to you as an individual member. You can go to the different national events. You can go to the different Pacific District events if you're in the Pacific District, and you can attend and enjoy them as an individual member. You get a vote. Individual members do indeed get a vote, although the Pacific District, I think, is still tweaking how this works. Right now, as it currently stands, I believe, your vote at plenaries, at conventions, counts as an aggregate vote for the individual members. That is, each one of you as an individual member would get a vote, then those votes are pulled together and the majority is the one vote that you get. That way it's fair to sisterhoods as well, but you do get a vote. Again, Benefits of being an individual member really come into play when there's no sisterhood in your area that's WRJ affiliated, when there's no sisterhood. Maybe the synagogue that you attend has absolutely no sisterhood or women's group at all. You could try and start one yourself, but in the meantime, this is a great alternative when you still want to be part of WRJ. You don't want to have to drive 1 billion miles to get to your sisterhood, or maybe you're just not quite sure yet what you want to do. So also, by the way, individual memberships make great gifts. Maybe you want to have your daughter or granddaughter or niece join WRJ and see all the benefits of WRJ. You can give an individual membership as a gift as well. So there is a big challenge of being an individual member, and it's when we have our Schmoozes, as I call them, the individual member group gets together quarterly, this is the thing that comes up the most. And they kind of go together. The challenge of being an individual member is that let me phrase it in that the most wonderful thing I think about being part of a sisterhood and being with other women is that connection that you get. It's that feeling of laughing and sharing and crying and being together and sharing in each other's joys and sorrows. And it's that vibe you get from being part of a sisterhood. It's also just doing things together, the leadership that develops when you're working with other women, the roles that you can take on when you're part of a board or chairing an event, when you're helping your synagogue as a group. Those are the challenges of being an individual member. We are trying to help with those challenges by having our individual member schmooze. And in fact, it's even come up in the Pacific District that why can't we be our own sisterhood? Why can't we together as individual members come together as a group and try and help each other out? So we're trying to work through that challenge. But I want to be honest with you always, the challenge of being an individual member is just this. It's that stronger together feeling. It's that sisterly feeling. It can be lonely being an individual member, and that is why we're trying our best to have groups and to have you have an area director. But I want to be honest with you, that would be the biggest challenge that I hear of being an individual member. So if you want to become an individual member, how do you do so? You simply go, it's pretty easy. You go to the WRJ.org website, and across the menu, across the top, you'll see Our Community. I think if you scroll, it's the second one down. Under Our Community, you hit Join WRJ. Then you scroll midway down the Join WRJ page, and you'll see boxes. It says Join as a Sisterhood, Join as an Individual. If you click Join as a Sisterhood, that would be for your sisterhood presidents and treasurers and financial secretaries when they are joining as a new sisterhood, or an established sisterhood is rejoining, coming back to WRJ. That's where you're going to put in all your board information, your sisterhood information. It's really at the sisterhood level. You don't want to click Join as a Sisterhood if you're becoming an individual member. You want to click, obviously, Join as an Individual. When you click Join as an Individual, there'll be an individual member application right there. It is $54 minimum annual contribution to join as an individual member of WRJ. And if you think about it, a lot of sisterhoods charge $48, $54, $36 dues. So really for almost the same price, really, you're getting all the same activities. You're getting WRJ fully and completely. So I think it's a pretty good deal. If you are 28 or under, or again, you want to make a gift to daughter or granddaughter or niece, it's $18 for the year minimum. So you can pay online right there. You can send your check to National, and I've given you the address here, but the address, all this information is right there on the website as well. And if you have any questions, you can contact Heather Lorgery. She is the WRJ Manager of Engagement. She's also the person that you'll want to contact if you are interested in joining Yammer and you want to get on that individual member group through Yammer. Heather is an amazing resource. So in conclusion, I really think that connecting with other Reformed Jewish women is important. And I think that being part of a larger Jewish community is important. Contributing, getting involved in events, volunteering, being at activities is really what it's all about. Being a part of WRJ, I think, isn't just for you now, it's for the future. It's for your daughters, it's for your granddaughters, it's for shaping the future of Reform Judaism. And it's empowering, I think, as a woman to be part of WRJ. It's empowering to support Israel, to be a strong role model, to support progressive values and leadership skills. So I really think it's really important, not just for us in this moment, but our future generations to support and be a part of WRJ. If you can do that as part of a WRJ affiliated sisterhood, that is amazing. And that would be my first choice for you. But if you can't, I really think that being an individual member is a wonderful alternative. And I'm so grateful to WRJ that they're providing this alternative for us. Thank you.